Welcome to my channel! This is the scariest ghost story I ever witnessed. I was going home from visiting my grandmother in hospital when I realized I had forgotten her birthday present. She had asked me to buy her some new flowers for her room, and so I did. But now I would be late. So I decided to take a shortcut through the old city cemetery. I knew there was a train station close by that I could take to get home faster. It was nearly midnight, so I was in a hurry. But when I got to the cemetery gates, I found something strange. The gates were open, and the rusty sign had fallen off its hinges. I walked slowly past rows of crooked headstones, the moonlight making it feel even creepier than usual. I got to the other side without seeing anyone, until suddenly, I heard a voice.
"You shouldn't be here,"
an old woman said behind me. She had skin like crumpled tissue paper, and eyes that seemed to glow.
"There's nothing here for you."
I didn't turn around, but I asked her, "Where's the train station?" She just kept staring at me. Then she,
"It doesn't belong here. You shouldn't have come."
And then she shuffled away into the shadows, disappearing between two graves. I could hear a train whistle in the distance, so I ran to where I thought the tracks were, and sure enough, there in front of me was a train. But it wasn't right. It was too big and too modern for this old place. The train stopped, and the doors slid open. It was empty, except for one guy sitting in the back. He looked like he had been carved out of pure darkness. His face was pale and featureless. A part of me wanted to run, but I was more curious than scared, so I got onto the train. The doors slid shut behind me, and the train started moving. There was something wrong with it, something creepy. I could feel it in my bones. But curiosity got the best of me, and I continued walking down the train. The only way I can describe it was that it felt like I was being watched. Every time I looked back, I saw the same thing, just another empty carriage. I walked further and further until I came across some graffiti on the wall.
It's not on the schedule. They've been working on the line. You must have dreamed it.
I told her about the symbols and the clock, but she just shook her head.
That sounds like a scary dream. Maybe you should go home and sleep it off.
I knew she didn't believe me, but I couldn't stay there anymore. I had this feeling of dread that something bad was going to happen. I left the station and headed home. I thought that once I got inside my apartment, I would feel safe. But then my phone started ringing. I picked it up, and it was an unknown number. I answered, but all I heard was a single word.
Run.
Then the call ended. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was probably just a prank. But the words stuck in my mind.
Run.
Why did they want me to run? I kept thinking about the train and the symbols and the creepy old woman. I couldn't get it out of my mind. Suddenly, the power went out. I was in total darkness. I tried to stay calm, but then I heard footsteps in my apartment. Footsteps coming closer. I ran to the bedroom and hid under the bed. Then I heard a voice.
Jason, why don't you come out from under there? I've been looking for you.
I was paralyzed with fear. Who was it? Was it the guy from the train? What did he want? I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I was frozen in place. And then I heard the scratching sound again, like someone trying to scratch something off the floor. It was getting closer. I closed my eyes tight and huddled in the corner. And then the voice said,
Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
I wanted to believe him, but I was too scared to do anything. He whispered.
Just turn around.
My instincts screamed at me to run, to hide, to do anything but what he was asking. But something made me turn around slowly. And when I did, I saw him. The faceless man from the train was standing there in my room. He was smiling, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was twisted and cruel. He held out his hand to me.
Come with me,
He said.
We're going home.
And then everything went black. The train screeched to a halt. I opened my eyes, disoriented. The lights flickered back on. I was on the train again. I was sitting in the same spot, but now the faceless man was gone. I don't remember what happened next. I only remember waking up in my bed with a start. The clock on my nightstand said 12:01 a.m. Had it all been a dream? I wasn't sure. All I knew was that I never wanted to set foot in that train station again. But maybe I didn't have a choice. I got out of bed and went to the window. The streets below were empty. Then I heard a voice.
Jason, you're awake. Good. It's time to get on the train.
I turned around and saw the old woman from the cemetery standing in my room. She was smiling now, and it wasn't a friendly smile. It was twisted and cruel, just like the faceless man's. She held out her hand to me.
Come on.
She said.
The train's waiting.
I wanted to scream, but no sound came out of my mouth. I wanted to run. My legs wouldn't move. The last thing I remember was the old woman taking my hand and leading me out of my house and into the street. We walked past the familiar train station and onto the tracks. In front of us, a sleek black train was waiting. It looked like the one from my dream. The door slid open and the old woman gestured for me to go first.
Come on.
She said.
We're going home.
I wanted to say something, but no words came out. I took a step forward and then another. I felt like I was being pulled, like there was an invisible force dragging me towards the train. The old woman smiled, her eyes gleaming.
It's time.
She whispered.
Time to go home.
Then everything went black. If you want to hear another terrifying story, subscribe to my channel. But remember, some stories stay with you forever.